Welcome back, traders. This is going to be my market outlook on index futures for the week of June 22nd. Let's go ahead and get started with S&P on the weekly chart. So as you can see, for the past month or so, we've kind of been in a consolidation, trading between this old weekly SIBI and this currently new weekly SIBI. We've tapped into it the last, couple of weeks, and now we're kind of just consolidating here. I'm expecting a little bit of pullback, but you can see my ultimate target are still going to be these relative equal highs here. We have 1, 2, 3, triple top, all-time highs. There's a lot of buy-side liquidity above here. However, I do think with this run up here, we could have a little bit of pullback. And where are the obvious pullback targets? Well, we do have a weekly BISI along with a volume balance here. So I'm expecting price to at least pull back to this old SIBI and maybe use the upper half, maybe just use the mid portion of it. But even if it trades through, my last line of defense is going to be this weekly BISI with the volume balance. I do not want to see price trade through it. We could tap into it, that's perfectly fine, but I do not want to see this being violated if I'm going to retain my bullish bias for these relative equal highs. Now on the upside, I am keeping an eye on this wick, 50% of this wick last week. I think we've already tapped into this weekly SIBI, but if we're going to tap into any buy side at all, I think I'm going to keep an eye on this weekly wick, 50% of it. If we tap into it, then I want to see some retracement back into this BISI. But if we come down for the buy side, or excuse me, for the sell side first, then I don't really care about this. I'll still keep an eye on this, but I want to see price go through it without much resistance. Now, taking a closer look at the daily chart, you can see those relative equals highs. This is the long-term buy-side target I'm looking for. We also have a daily SIBI here. We haven't tapped into that yet, but that is going to be a target going to the upside. And currently, this weekly SIBI here, we've tapped into it just for one day, and now we're kind of trading in here. So let's go ahead and zoom into the most recent price action. Now you can see that last week we did sweep the sell side below this low even, but we didn't tap into that weekly SIBI that I'm looking to be used as inversion. I would like to at least see a tap into it to the upper half, but even if we go to, let's say, the midpoint, we do have the swing low. There's a little bit of sell side liquidity below here, so I can kind of expect price to come down below this low to the midpoint. And like I said before, should we go through it all the way, we have this swing low with the weekly BISI, this weekly volume and balance. A lot of confluence here, but this is going to be my last line of defense if we're going to continue up higher for those relative equal all-time highs. Okay, now moving on to Nasdaq. Here's the weekly chart, and just like ES, I'm looking for all-time highs. Nasdaq has relative equal highs. I suspect there's going to be a lot of buy-side liquidity there. So I am expecting a long-term rally up for new all-time highs. But just like ES, we could have a little bit of pullback. We could have some retracement to accumulate some more longs. And when I say that, I'm talking about smart money. Coming down to this old weekly BISI, and of course it is also an old weekly SIBI, so kind of a balanced price range with a weekly volume balance. So a lot of confluence here. This is definitely going to be my last line of defense if we're going to continue bullish for these relative equal highs. Currently we're trading in this old weekly SIBI. I kind of want to see this used as inversion. However, it's a little bit weird because we're just kind of consolidating in it. So I think I need to go down to the daily chart to take a closer look at this area here, but it's perfectly fine just looking at it as a regular SIBI for now. And we're going to push price down for a little bit of a retracement before we head up higher. Okay, taking a closer look at the daily chart, you can see those relative equal highs, and there's also a daily SIBI that we did tap into a little bit here, but mostly we're just consolidating in this old weekly SIBI. So let's go ahead and take a look at the most recent price action. So here you can see mostly consolidation. We did come and sweep on Friday the sell side below this low and this low once again. So we do have a sell side sweep. The next sell side target would be below this low. And of course, if we do go all the way back down below this low, we have a lot of confluences here. I don't want to see price trade through this at all. And I think ideally, if we do get down below here, we stay in the upper half of that SIBI, of the BISI. They kind of overlap almost perfectly. So as long as we stay in the upper half, that would be ideal for a run for all-time highs. Now, if we look back at this consolidation, we are consolidating in the weekly SIBI, but we are consolidating in the mostly in the upper half. So this could be a signal saying this sweep is enough to push us up for new highs. However, I am kind of favoring us to go down a little bit lower, and it really has to deal with the mindset of how the market runs, right? We've got to think about smart money. What do they want? Well, there is going to be a lot of buy side up here at all-time highs, right? So there's going to be a lot of buy side liquidity up here. If smart money really wants to be greedy, really wants to take full advantage of all of the buy stops up here, I think it will want to at least pull us back down and accumulate some more longs. So for example, if you look at the consolidation here, right, if smart money, if the big players in the market, if they want to get really greedy, this entire consolidation, there's going to be a lot of, I don't know, retail traders, institutional traders, whatever you want, but there's going to be a lot of longs here, right? Where would their stop be? Well, they would put a stop here, you know, the sell stops, but if bigger players are in the game, they'll probably have their stop below this low, right? There's going to be some sell stops below here. Now, if smart money really wants to take advantage of all the big buy side liquidity at all-time highs, what they will want to do is pull price down here and accumulate these sell stops, right? Once they take the sell stop, they'll buy it all up, and then after that, that basically knocks out all the longs here, right? So the only long position is going to be smart money. Then they can bring price up higher, aiming for the all-time highs, and take advantage of all the sell stops are up here, and then basically sell off all the buy stop position that they bought and sell it to all the sell stops up here. So if you think about that, I don't know what to call it, like paradigm shift or whatever, if you think about how smart money wants to play the game, I think more than likely, even though we are consolidating in the upper half of this old weekly SIBI, I think if you think about like how the game works, price, I'm more in favor of price dropping down for the sell side first and accumulating the sell stops down here before going up higher. So even though I am long-term bullish, I do understand that we could be pulling back down and probably pulling back down to this area here. So I'm kind of using this SIBI here as a guide. If price trades below this old weekly SIBI, I'll be more willing to short, thinking that we're going to be coming down for the sell side here and accumulating some of the sell stops, right? But if we do start leaving here to the upside, if we start trading above this weekly SIBI, then I'll be more inclined to think that, okay, smart money has accumulated enough longs and they're going to be going for all-time highs. So I'll be more willing to go for longs if we trade above this weekly SIBI. So definitely use this old weekly SIBI as a guide and keep an eye out on how price behaves around this PD array. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. It's a little bit deeper of analysis than I normally give. If you guys enjoyed that better, let me know in the comments below, or would you prefer if I just do a short, quick summary of like what I kind of think the price action will be? Let me know in the comments as well. Also, don't forget, give this video a like and also subscribe if you haven't done so for more analysis like this. And until I catch you guys next time, safe trading.